UFO sighting in Hungary, January 18th, 1991. On January 18th, 1991, in the early hours of the morning, around 12:15 a.m., I had a strange and unforgettable experience while working the night shift as a mechanic at the BKV Hungária tram depot. That night, I was with my close colleague, József M, as well as members of the alternating Szabó group. Because of the bitter cold, 5 or 6 of us crowded into a small aluminum hut, a space that could only comfortably fit 2 people, while waiting for the incoming trams. The hut's window faced south, toward the rear of the depot, from where we could regularly observe the landing lights of planes approaching the air corridor to Ferihegy Airport. These planes usually appeared at an altitude of about 500 to 700 meters, emerging from behind the rear building. We estimated their landing speed to be around 300 to 400 kilometers per hour. For about a minute, we could clearly watch them as they descended, before disappearing behind the residential buildings along Hungária Boulevard. But then something unusual happened. Instead of the familiar lights, an especially bright landing light beam appeared at the very same spot where the planes normally emerged at first glance. It resembled the headlights of an aircraft. But within seconds it became obvious that this was something completely different. The light was strange, foreign, unknown, almost unearthly. Everyone stared in silence, tense with excitement. We asked each other, "What is that?" Then, almost as one, we rushed out of the hut into the freezing January night. The cold no longer mattered. Only the light, the sight before us. The depot dispatcher ran out as well, followed shortly after by K. Tibor, the deputy of the Szabó group. May he rest in peace. Overcome by shock, he climbed onto the tall floodlight mast of the outdoor tram storage area and shouted at the top of his lungs, "People, it's a UFO." And indeed, as the object drew nearer, we could clearly make out its silhouette in the dark.It was not an airplane. Despite the night, the clear, cold air allowed us to see it perfectly. The object had a long, cigar-shaped body, about the same length as a typical passenger aircraft of that time, in 1991. From its front, a strange beam of light radiated forward, to the sides, and upward, like a white curtain waving in the wind, glowing with an almost otherworldly brilliance. From its rear stretched a rainbow-colored, trail-like beam. Almost as long as the craft itself, It had no wings, no tail, no windows, no navigation lights. And most striking of all, it was completely silent. Nothing about it resembled a plane, a helicopter, or even a blimp that we watched it for perhaps 10 to 30 seconds. Then came another astonishing sight. From the sides of the cigar-shaped craft, small capsule-like objects detached in pairs. They glowed dark red, almost black. For a short while, they traveled alongside the main body, also in total silence, before gradually falling behind and vanishing into nothingness. This process repeated several times, releasing 4 to 6 pairs in total. Finally, the mysterious object itself disappeared behind the buildings along Hungária Boulevard, and we never saw it again. Later that night, tram drivers arriving at the depot also reported seeing the phenomenon from various parts of the city. Many of their passengers had likewise been stunned as they watched the skies. If I recall correctly, just a few days later, a special edition of the Hungarian television program, Close Encounters of the Zeroth Kind, also covered the event. Experts and well-known figures spoke about it, including the night shift chief of air traffic control at Ferihegy Airport, who himself was a witness to this strange phenomenon, which was seen by thousands across the country. This experience has been engraved into my memory forever.